story. This is going to be a story of high adventure. Trust me, you guys are gonna like this story. It looks beautiful. You know what? It looks beautiful, and I can't believe it's not butter.
What's it about?
It's a sad story. I have to say it. I have to say the story. It's sad, though. Someone choose me some sad music. Let me see. My great-grandfather. He had a watch. You see this watch right here? It's a gold railroad watch. It's one of those pocket watches. You know, in the old days, that's what they had back then. They had these watches that had chains that went into a pocket like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It was called a gold railroad watch. That was it. My grandfather said, "I want this watch to go to my great-grandson." And he gave this watch to my grandfather. And then my grandfather sent this watch to my father. He gave it to my father. My father held on to it until I was born. And he said, "I'm going to give this watch to my son because my grandfather wanted me to pass this watch to you." So when I was a little kid, my dad showed me the watch and he said, "Son, here's the watch. But I'm not going to give it to you now until you're old enough. Because you might just sell it and buy some candy bars or something like that. I have to make sure you're responsible. Because this is very, very important. This is a
family heirloom.
This is a family heirloom. It was passed on by your great-grandfather. It had gems and it was solid gold. It was valuable. And it, not just the gold value, it was sentimental value. It was a family heirloom. It had stats. It was so powerful. So he gave it to my father, and then we were in a move, and someone actually broke into the house and saw the family heirloom and went, the thief went, "Oh my!" And he pickpocketed it and took it and stole it. Sad.
Wow.
Then my father, he was very, very sad. My father started searching everywhere for a watch that was similar because soon my grandfather was going to come to town, and my grandfather always asked to see the watch because it was a family heirloom. It was important. So my father searched all over the place until he finally found a similar watch, and he purchased it. And it was his secret. Nobody knew. Only my father. And then he gave that watch to my mother. And then my mother held on to it for many years until I finally was 18 years old. And then my mother gave it to my grandparents. And they held on to it for a while. Then one day, I was like 20 years old and I remembered, hey, I have a family heirloom. Where's the watch? So I asked my grandparents, "Where's my watch?" And they told me, "We put all our stuff in storage and it got stolen. We're very sorry." I was very, very heartbroken. I lost my family heirloom.
How did they do that?
From my great-grandfather. It never got to me. And the worst part about it is the railroad watch, this one, that my great-grandfather tried to give me. They're in style now. They're in style. You can actually use them nowadays. So actually the one that my grandfather gave me was like solid gold, so it was probably worth a lot. I don't know. So I never got it. I would have used it like this. Yeah, I would have done that. I would have gotten a gold chain and I would have worn it like that. It would have been awesome. So I decided that I'm not a person that usually buys watches. You never see me with a watch on. But one day, I plan on buying myself a watch to replace the watch, my family heirloom that got lost. I am looking for a watch to replace that family heirloom that got stolen. If you guys have any ideas, any suggestions on what kind of watch I can get, I kind of like this one, but this one costs too expensive. This one is too expensive. I can't buy it. There you go. Now you know the story.